The story begins with the fact that a certain warrior reached the final boss and was surprised by him. Deciding that it was time for him to go to hell, he dealt a crushing blow to him. A princess descended from heaven to him, as the hero defeated the boss. The boy who played as the hero was pleased with this, and he did not at all feel sorry for filling up the levels for the sake of this moment. Suddenly he was electrocuted and disappeared from the place where he was sitting at the computer. On an abandoned burial mound, two guys liked that princess. She asked the young master for help, but the guys were sure that no one would help her. She could scream as much as she wanted. At that moment a guy fell from the sky. He could not understand what was happening here and where his princess was, since he had cleared this scene. Seeing that the princess was being bullied, he became angry and was going to take revenge. The guys were also shocked, because they had recently buried him in a grave, but seeing that he survived, they decided to kill him again. The young guy noticed that something was wrong. The guys began to attack the hero and stated that he could leave this question for King Jan in hell. Having dodged the sword, he realized that the sword was real. It seemed to him that it was too realistic and did not look like the game world, but in reality it was reality. As they approached him, the guys noticed that he had been brave just now. They decided that they would now check where he would run, because he was sitting on the floor by the grave. The guy wanted to discuss everything a little first, but they were not going to do it. At that moment, the guy's equipment from the game fell out of nowhere. The game reported that the user's current potential met the requirements of the Supreme Martial Arts system, so the armor was unlocked. A statistics column appeared in front of the guy and he was finally convinced that he was in the game. The game offered him a beginner's kit, which he agreed to. The game congratulated him that he had become a 1-star combat disciple, that he had 1 luck point, that he had learned the combat skill, ASP throw, and had received a trial set of divine armor for 1 minute. With this system in his hands, he was going to become the strongest. The guys woke up and raised their heads to see a hero in armor in front of them. He asked if they were looking for someone, but they were only scared because he had become so strong so quickly. Taking the sword in his hands and with a strong sweeping blow, he sent them high into the air. The game congratulated user Zhao Feng for activating the Supreme Attribute of the Supreme Martial Arts System. A new skill was acquired, 10 Meridians of the Divine Sword. He also received 400 experience points and 40 aura points and upgraded to a 3-star martial disciple. After some time, the effect of the trial divine armor expired. The game wished good luck in further leveling endeavors. Zhao Fan was a little upset because he didn't even have time to enjoy this power. The princess threw herself into his arms and talked about her thoughts that she had already lost him forever. Zhao Fan asked Shinner not to worry, as he would take better care of her from now on. He promised that she would never suffer again like she did today. Shinner was lost because they would no longer return to the Zhao family and asked where they would go next. Zhao Fan confidently directed them to the Mo Yun Ridge, where he was going to farm mobs and increase his cultivation level. Sooner or later, he promised to return to the Zhao family. In the Zhao family, a certain guy wanted to hear from his servants where Zhao Delu and Zhao Fan were, because 10 days had already passed. The young master was informed that Zhao Fan had gone to Mo Yun Ridge. In their opinion, it will be very difficult to find someone in those places. They assumed that at best, Zhao Fan was at the level of a 3-star martial disciple and would not be able to get out of Mo Yun Ridge. In that case, the young master wanted to see his corpse if he was dead. The servants immediately began to carry out the order. At Mo Yun Ridge, Zhao Fan honed his sword skills. Xinye was surprised by his speed and praised him for his strength. Zhao Fan stated that she would stay here for a few more days, and he would take her away as soon as he finished his cultivation. The Mo Yun Ridge dungeon raid had officially begun. Leaving for the raid, Shinner wished good luck to Zhao Fan. Sitting on a tree, the young master's servants were watching him and were going to report this. On the 3rd day of the Mo Yun Ridge dungeon raid, Zhao Fan was hunting for a free-moving rabbit. Approaching him from behind, he showed a desire to get experience points for him. The rabbit just got scared and died immediately. Zhao Fan found this funny because he had become very strong in his opinion. In fact, the rabbit was poisoned by the terrible body odor of the user, which is why it died. The user received 100 experience points and 10 aura points. On the 7th day of the Mo Yun Ridge raid, Zhao Fan encountered the green-headed ferocious tiger, phantom python, 5-colored chicken, 3-tailed poisonous scorpion, red monkey soldier. Zhao Fan used the 10 Meridian Divine Sword skill. After defeating his enemies, the game congratulated him on leveling up. On the 10th day of the Mo Yun Ridge dungeon raid, Zhao Fan fought a huge wolf. As a result, he defeated him with the help of 10 impulses of the Divine Sword and received 900 experience points, 90 true strength points and 10 sword skill points. Zhao Fan believed that in this way his development would proceed much faster, and upon returning to the Zhao family, he would deal with them all. Unexpectedly, the game reported a heavenly treasure. It was assumed that it could be a player's set, and Zhao Fan went there. Making his way through the bushes, he noticed glowing grass. He wondered to the game how many experience points he would get if he ate it. The game reported that the host's level was too low and Zhao Fang could not eat this rank 7 spirit grass. It was recommended to exchange it for higher coins. Regrettably, Zhao Fang was about to take it away, as superior coins could be useful in purchasing various things. The game notified Zhao Fang about the found boss, a level monster, a 3-headed black lion, but Zhao Fan only asked not to disturb him, because he was collecting treasures. There was a stomp and Zhao Fan, turning around, suspected something was wrong. Turning around, he saw that the monster was above him. Slipping out from under his clutches, he decided to fight him. After using 10 divine sword pulses on the black lion, he expected to be able to win, but his attempts were unsuccessful and he began to run away because he could not win. The game suggested spending a little luck to avoid damage and Zhao Fan agreed. Suddenly, the black lion lost sight of Zhao Fan as he was attacked by a certain girl. Zhao Fan immediately noticed her beauty and ability to fight. She was an example of his types of girls. The black lion noticed the spirit grass and began to eat it. Zhao Fan was upset as these were his last coins. The girl wanted to stop the lion and struck him. In response to this, the 3-headed black lion evolved. Zhao Fan notified the girl about this, but she only stated that he did not need to talk about it, because she saw it herself. With the decision to use 10,000 swords, she launched an attack on the black lion. The black lion also began to attack her and a strong explosion occurred from the collision of the two forces. The girl failed to defeat the black lion. She also could not move and did not believe that she would die here. Zhao Fan noticed that she could not defeat him and was about to leave from there as quickly as possible. The angel on his shoulder stopped him, as the girl was seriously injured while trying to save him. The demon, on the contrary, urged Zhao Fan to leave, because his life was more important. They started arguing among themselves and the demon challenged him to a fight. While the angel and demon were fighting, Zhao Fan watched. He got bored with this and, taking the two in his arms, he told them to stop. The 4-headed purple lion noticed this and Zhao Fan realized that something was wrong. He accepted that this was the end, but still began to flee. The game reported an initial 10 sword pulse defense system. The lion was about to catch up with Zhao Fan, but he stopped and was preparing to defend himself. There was an explosion and the 4-headed purple lion was dead. Zhao Fan was surprised that the lion died, not understanding how he did it. The game congratulated Zhao Fan for killing the 4-headed purple lion and showed the received 100,000 experience points, 10,000 true strength points, 10,000 10 Excalibur pulse skill points. Zhao Fang's current level was an 8-star martial arts expert. The 10-pulse Excalibur was increased and now it was possible to use a 3-pulse one. The box of luck of the gods was launched and the 3-pulse sword was obtained. Zhao Fang also received the world's best martial art of Golden Lion, and was encouraged to study it. Having studied the Golden Lion martial art, he also obtained the 4th level spiritual core of the 4-headed purple lion, which was proposed to be preserved. Zhao Fang was happy that others were fighting and the best was going to him. Zhao Fang also wanted to study the Golden Lion martial art and successfully completed it. He saw that the spiritual grass had not yet run out and began to collect it to exchange it for higher coins. The exchange was completed and the game congratulated Zhao Fang for receiving 930 supreme coins. He was unhappy that the number of higher coins was not an integer, as the player selling the treasure was charged a 1% transaction fee. Zhao Fan wondered for a moment if he had forgotten something. At that moment, a girl crawled up to him from behind and asked for help, but Zhao Fan did not hear these requests and only listed his list of completed tasks. The girl was able to crawl to him and grabbed Zhao Fan's leg. Out of fear, he hit her so hard that he flew into a nearby tree. Assuming that he had done something wrong, he began to check whether she was alive or not. He wanted to find out from the system if there was a medicine that could save her. The store offered some medicines, but they were very expensive and Zhao Fan asked for something cheaper. Having found a certain pill, he realized that it could help. He wondered what would happen if, after curing her, she ran away. After placing the pill inside the girl, she began to heal. Opening her eyes, she noticed that Zhao Fan was watching her strangely and hit him. Standing up, she asked if he had saved her, but Zhao Fang in response only asked him to show him someone else in this wilderness. She explained that she was a loyal follower of Zhong Miao, one of the 3 major sects of the Luang kingdom. She was going to give him anything because he saved her. Zhao Fan asked again and replied that he wanted her to marry him. The girl did not like this and hit him, saying that she would rather die there than marry someone like him. Zhao Fan then began to tell her about the monsters in the Yunmen Mountains who love to eat human flesh. Looking back, she saw that those same monsters began to surround her. Zhao Fang further frightened her that her body parts would be torn into pieces and there would be bites all over her body. Zhao Fan was about to leave and the girl hoped that he would not leave her here alone. She realized that Zhao Fan was leaving and agreed to become his wife, but she herself was going to let him be arrogant now, and after she was cured, she would teach him a lesson. Zhao Fan introduced himself to her as the young master of the Zhao family in Yishui City and asked about her. The girl said that her name is Qin Gui and she has no family. Zhao Fan reassured her, saying that now he will be her family. For a moment, she felt that Zhao Fan was not so bad, after which he asked her to take a martial arts oath in order to avoid problems. Realizing that she would not be able to leave him in this case, Qin Ji became even more angry. Despite everything, she decided that she could not die here and took an oath. The sun's rays descended from the sky towards the two of them. Zhao Fan did not understand what it was, to which he received the answer that they were now husband and wife recognized by heaven. Zhao Fan was running and was very happy. He asked Qin Gui to wait a little and give her some medicine. Having brought some kind of huge ball, he declared that this medicine could definitely cure her. Qin Ji refused this in every possible way, because she thought that Zhao Fan wanted to finish her off. Suddenly, she felt dizzy. Zhao Fan realized that the effect of the previous pill had ended and decided to help her. Rising into the air, he threw this ball at her and asked her to forgive him for this. There was a big explosion. Zhang Fan saw that Qin Gui was healing and was pleased that he used 499 supreme coins for this. All her wounds healed instantly and Zhao Fan was about to go home with her. Qin Ji walked away a little and thanked him for saving her. It was hard for her to say this, but due to the fact that the difference between them is too great, he could be in danger if they found out about it. After apologizing again, she flew away. Zhao Fan only asked him to wait a little. When his level was high enough, he would definitely take her. Zhao Fan was going to fight monsters to level up and get his wife back. He continued to fight the monsters and the game congratulated him for killing the green-headed tiger, earning 9,000 experience points, 900 true power points, 900 skill points, and 10 divine sword pulses. By killing the cloud python, he earned 9,000 experience points, 900 true strength points, 900 skill points, and 10 divine sword pulses. A week later, Zhao Fang became interested in his level. Looking at the statistics in Yishui City, in his opinion, a one-star warrior is also a strong cultivator. He went in search of Zi Shan and the monsters in the forest were glad that he left. Entering a house, he saw that everything inside was destroyed and something had definitely happened. The guys standing behind confirmed that something had happened. They were glad to see him, as they had been waiting for him in this place for 10 days. Due to the fact that they would have a bounty on his head, they were going to deal with him quickly. Zhao Fang only asked where Zi Shan was, but received the answer that he would find out about this in hell. They began to attack him, but Zhao Fang dealt with them in an instant and went to look for Zi Shan. In room number 1, in the Hongtai Pavilion in Yishui City, Situ Fang, the son of the mayor of Boluo City, was welcomed and was going to show a few things for him. Entering the room and pulling back the curtain, Situ Fan was pleasantly surprised and ordered the servant to leave. When leaving, the servant wanted to have a good time. Zi Shan saw Situ Fan and asked him to save her, but he only wanted to enjoy and have a good time. He assured that she could scream as much as she wanted, but no one would help her. At this moment, Zhao Fang rushed in and protected Zi Shan. She was scared, because if he was a little late, it could end badly for her. Zhao Fan reassured her since he was already there. Situ Fan was angry that Zhao Fan dared to attack him and ordered the guards to take him. After leaving the room, Situ Fan noticed that Zhao Fan dared to come there and make a mess. In his opinion, he really wants to die. Zhao Fan only ordered them all to leave there and gave them a few seconds to do so. Situ Fan was unhappy with this and wanted Zhao Fan killed. The guards began to attack him and Zhao Fan released an entity in the form of a golden dragon, which defeated all the guards. Zishan was surprised at how strong he had become. Zhao Fan believed that he would not be able to protect her if he was not strong enough. Realizing that the guards had failed to complete the task, Situ Fan decided to do it himself. Situ Fan tried to block Zhao Fan by releasing a wave of blue energy, but Zhao Fan skillfully deflected it and Situ Fan was defeated. Approaching him, Zhao Fan offered to choose the method of his death. Situ Fan began to say that he was the son of the mayor of the city of Biluo and he would not dare to kill him, since otherwise the entire Zhao family would be destroyed. Zhao Fan was pleased that he would have to choose himself, because Situ Fan refused to do so. Before Zhao Fan's hand could touch Situ Fan, he declared that he knew those who beat him then. Situ Fan said that Zhao Fan was the first genius of Ishui City, but because he was seriously injured by a mysterious person, he became a nobody. Zhao Fan wondered who it was. The answer he received was that it was Chen Kaishan, the strongest of the Chen family in Biluo. Zhao Fang could not understand the reason for beating him because the Zhao family did not have any enmity with him. According to Situ Fan, Zhao Fan was an incomparable genius back then, and when Chen Kaishan was terribly beaten, he immediately remembered Zhao Fan and wanted revenge. Zhao Fan was unhappy that he became a scapegoat, since it was someone else who beat Chen Kaishan, not him. Zhao Fan wanted to know about the genius of the Zhao family, but Situ Fan admitted that he had told about everything and he could ask about it upon his return. When asked to let him go, Zhao Fan agreed, but on the condition that he teach him a good lesson. Taking Zishan by the hand, they went to Zhao's house. Next, one son told his father that Zhao Fan survived and defeated Situ Fan, and now he is returning. If he is killed, then his father will not have children and grandchildren, because he is his only son. The father realized that 18 years ago, Zhao Zhan took away the title of young master from him and 18 years later, his son wants to crush his son. Deciding that he would never allow this to happen, he left, and ordered his son to go to the courtroom, and this time he wanted Zhao Fan to die without burial. Arriving at the scene, the guards saw Zhao Fan and warned him about the order of the clan elder to bring him to the courtroom. Zhao Fan was surprised at their courage and, releasing a wave around him, he declared that they could pass on their own. Approaching Zhao Xian, Zhao Fan reminded himself. Zhao Xian immediately began asking Zhao Fan whether he would admit to killing members of his own clan. His son noticed that Zhao Fan was breaking the rules of their clan. Zhao Fan announced himself as the young master of the Zhao family and asked who they were that they dared to condemn him. Zhao Xian was angry and talked about killing members of his clan. Refusing to admit his guilt, he ordered the guards to execute Zhao Fang. The guards prepared to attack him, but Zhao Fan used the Golden Lion martial art. Using this technique, he defeated all the enemies. In order to protect Zishan, he asked to wait outside for him. Zhao Xian rushed at Zhao Fan, promising to kill him with his own hands. In Zhao Fan's opinion, he is not good enough to do this. Zhao Xian's son watched this fight and did not understand how Zhao Fan became so strong. Zhao Fang could not lose, since they insulted the young master and this was a serious crime. He was congratulated for eliminating a 3-star martial arts expert, earning 30,000 experience points, 3,000 true strength points and 3,000 skill points, also 10 divine sword pulses. Sitting to the side, Zhao Xian's son threw himself at Zhao Fan's feet and apologized, admitting that he should not have attempted to kill him. He asked to be released because he admitted his mistake. Zhao Fan got angry and hit him. The game warned that if he was killed, Zhao Fan would be deducted 300 experience points. He became even more angry and began beating him further. He was going to find out the answers to all his questions from his grandfather. Zhao Xian's son was severely beaten, having just entered the battlefield twice. Arriving at the place, Zhao Fan clarified that grandfather lives here. Opening the doors, he announced that his grandson had returned. He saw something that shocked him. Grandfather was lying on the floor and he rushed to help him, not understanding what had happened. Raising his grandfather, he asked about his condition. Zhua Zhengfeng's grandfather said that he was sick and asked about the reason for Zhao Fan's visit. Zhao Fan sharply asked his grandfather if there was a genius in their clan 18 years ago. Grandfather only immediately denied this information. Zhao Fan apologized to his grandfather that this was about Chen Kaishan. According to him, it was somehow connected with the beating of his grandson. Realizing that we were talking about his grandson, he ordered the story to be told immediately and clearly. After a while, grandfather laughed at Zhang Er because he became a one-star general. Zhao Fan wanted to know if Zhang Er was that genius and where he was now. Grandfather began to tell that in the country of Ling Yuan there are 3 families that controlled the entire country, and the city of Yishui is a branch of the Zhao family. According to grandfather, their branch of the clan wants to return to the main clan. To do this, she must defeat the top 30 of the clan. At the time of the war, Zhang Er was only 20 years old and was already very strong in the 7 Stars Kingdom. He was the strongest among his peers. Grandfather thought that he could bring them back, but it turned out that Zhang Er participated in a martial arts tournament and was killed by Zhao Yuanwu, from the main Zhao clan. Hearing this, Zhao Fan realized that Zhao Zhan was his father and grandfather, confirming his guesses. He said that they were originally talented, but Chen Kaishan's plans were unknown. He threatened his grandfather that if he helped Zhao Fan again, he would destroy the door to the main branch of Zhao. Gathering his thoughts, Zhao Fang planned to take revenge on both of them. Grandfather believed that it was extremely important to take responsible measures to take revenge on the city ruler and Chen Kaishan, because they can no longer tolerate their humiliation. Zhao Fan warned his grandfather to prepare to leave immediately with people from the clan. He handed him a top-grade elixir worth 400 top coins. With a request to take this elixir, he asked his grandfather to heal himself and take care of the rest himself. Grandfather was moved because he saw his son Zhang Er in him. A guy ran up to Zhao Fan and reported the danger. He said that the city guards surrounded them and were going to destroy the Zhao family. Standing on the street in front of the guards, grandfather asked Commander Qiu what it all meant. Di Qiu, who was the commander of the city guard, stated that Zhao was impudent and arrogant, due to the fact that he humiliated the son of the lord of Biluo County. He was ordered to destroy the Zhao family. Hearing this, the warriors admitted that Zhao Fang did this and now he has nothing to do with the Zhao family. They asked to take it, but not to touch them. Grandfather did not like this action and he ordered one of the warriors to stop saying that, explaining that their clan would never give up one of its members for the sake of survival. The commander told them not to quarrel because today the entire Zhao family would be gone. After this statement, he ordered his soldiers to attack them. The warriors of the Zhao clan were scared, but they had no choice but to fight back, otherwise they would die. Grandfather came forward and declared that the Zhao family would continue to live and called everyone along to fight back. He launched an attack, but was defeated. He was surprised that the 5-star made a breakthrough so suddenly. Zhao Fan stood up for his grandfather. He ordered to deal with him first, because he would not allow his grandfather to be hurt. The commander agreed and hit Zhao Fan with great force. Zhao Fan successfully withstood his blow, which made grandfather and all the people standing nearby surprised. Zhao Fan was going to teach them a lesson, but warned them that if they couldn't win, they should run faster. The commander was unhappy that they dared to laugh at him. Zhao Fan's plan was to pretend and escape. He wanted to quickly level up to defeat Di Qiu. Looking at the commander's warriors, Zhao Fan remembered that he could gain experience points. Zhao Fan asked her grandfather for help. The help was to distract the commander for a while. Approaching the commander's soldiers, he attracted their attention. They began to attack him, but to no avail. Zhao Fan received 5,600 experience points and 560 10-sword pulse skill points for killing 7 8-star warriors. After defeating various numbers of warriors, Zhao Fan gained enough experience to become a 2-star general. His mastery of 10 pulse swords exceeded 40,000 points, and it was possible to use 5 pulse swords. Grandfather commanders were distracted by Zhao Fan. Grandfather praised him, repeating that he always believed in him. Di Qiu couldn't believe how Zhao Fan dealt with his warriors. Di Qiu was angry that Zhao Fan killed so many of his men. Grandfather asked him to run. The commander's surviving soldiers asked to quickly deal with Zhao Fan. The warriors of the Zhao family were afraid that their end had come. Zhao Fan was about to use 10 sword pulses. Di Qiu believed that it was useless to use the old trick twice. A powerful wave broke out and the commander was defeated. His warriors were surprised by this, because Zhao Fan suddenly became strong. For defeating the 5-star warrior Di Qiu, he received 50,000 experience points and 5,000 skill points. Looking at the Di Qiu warriors, he declared that it was their turn, and the warriors of the Zhao family began to deal with them. Zhao Fan was pleased with his strength as it was enough to match a 9-star general. He was about to leave when Zi Shan called out to him. Zhao Fan told her to take care of her grandfather, and there was no need to worry about him. Zhao Fang was serious about solving the problems completely. He went to the main house of the city, where he fought with everyone who caught his eye. Having finished with the ordinary warriors, he followed the souls of Mr. Blue Sky and Chen Kaishan. In the city of Blue Sky, Zhao Fan sat calmly at a table and poured boiling water. Now, as long as the Chen family and the main city of the Blue Waterfalls were not destroyed, he thought there was no need to worry. According to the information he heard, Chen Kaishan is half a step away from being a martial artist. Lord Situ Haoji is a 9-star king who has nearly 10,000 city soldiers. Zhao Fang could use the city guard to promote himself, and he could kill Chen Kaishan and Situ Haoji only after he became stronger. He thought about how to somehow hide his identity, otherwise his grandfather and others would suffer because of him. Deciding that he needed a mask, he went to the nearest store. With the hope that it would work out, he called out to the man sleeping behind the counter. The man woke up and only pointed to the sign hanging below, where it said, self-service. Zhao Fan realized that no one would help him and began to study various techniques. At first it was a primitive cleaning technique. After time and a lot of hard work, the game congratulated Zhao Fang for forging a metal mask and acquiring the skill of forging a metal mask. The man woke up and was unhappy because he just wanted to sleep. Taking a closer look, he was shocked to see many different masks that he liked. Zhao Fan at this time was successfully able to improve his metal mask forging skill and boasted to the man. In his opinion, he succeeded in creating a golden mask. Having finally decided that it was completely completed, he left the man a gold coin, and he himself went to work on improvements. In the castle of Tekashiba City, the captain of the city guard, Hu Dong, spoke about the order of the mayor of the city. They were ordered to go to Ishui City tomorrow to greet the second son. The soldiers understood the order and were about to carry out it when Zhao Fan suddenly flew to them. According to him, this was not necessary since he had already killed his second son. Hu Dong was shocked by this news and ordered the soldier to surround and arrest Zhao Fan. Zhao Fan dealt with the soldiers and those who tried to escape. He increased his level, and for him this was called the strongest leveling. Due to the fact that the destruction of a detachment of 1,000 people brought him to the 3rd level, he was going to continue to receive experience points and went after them. Further, in the main house of Situ City, Hao Jia was furious because their guards were mercilessly killed. Pei Zhiqiu said that several of their guards had already tracked down this man and would arrest him today. Situ Hao Jia ordered not to return unless he could catch him. At that moment, they came to him and reported that the young master had broken through to the general and was ready to challenge the 3rd direct disciple. This amused him and he praised the guy. In his opinion, good changes had taken place in the capital and he ordered to immediately send a message to Fanner to return as soon as possible. He believed that their Situ family would definitely rise to become the greatest in the Lian country. In the Central Army barracks, Zhao Fang was engaged in improvement. He killed a large number of warriors, for which he received experience and skill points. His current level was 5-star warlord. His magic skill exceeded 1 million points, which met the standards for opening a skill gift box. Zhao Fang was interested in this magical gift box. The game stated that when a player's skill mastery reaches its maximum and mastery in a certain skill accumulates, he will acquire a new skill. After opening it, he received Lingyun Xianbu's magic skill. This skill allows you to teleport hundreds of miles. He immediately teleported to some warriors and began to fight with them. Master Pei called out to him and his warriors were glad that the hour of reckoning had come for Zhao Fan. He ordered Zhao Fang to run away as he would be in trouble now. Zhao Fan did not understand why he should run away and advised them to do it. Master Pei did not like his behavior, considering him too arrogant, and ordered the soldiers to kill him. The warriors rushed to attack him, but the appearance of a fiery lion appeared around Zhao Fan and all the warriors were instantly defeated. Zhao Fan was now pleased with even more experience points, and Master Pei was shocked. He ordered his remaining warriors around him to prepare their arrows. The arrows had already been fired, and Zhao Fan only asked to watch his Lingyun Xianbu. All the arrows that flew did not hit him, as he was too agile and dodged them. Master Pei understood that Zhao Fan was very fast and it was impossible to hit him. Suddenly, Zhao Fan disappeared and the arrows flying at him changed their direction and hit Master Pei. Master Pei tried to figure out who hit him, but Zhao Fan, who was sitting on the fence, called out to him. He again ordered an attack on him. Zhao Fan was not taken aback. Skillfully dodging the arrows, he collected them in a huge pile and sent them back. Master Pei believed that Zhao Fang was at least a 5-star martial king, while he was a 7-star. He began to attack Zhao Fan, but he ran away, since he cannot defeat Master Pei and he needs to raise the level by killing a couple of guards. The warriors saw that Zhao Fan was approaching them and began to run. Master Pei could not catch up with Zhao Fan and ordered the city guards not to run away. If they did not carry out his orders, he promised to fire them. The city guards stopped and Master Pei was now going to see where Zhao Fan could escape to this time. Zhao Fan came there to kill them all. He killed 2,356 martial artists and 780 military commanders and gained a large amount of experience points. He became a 7-star martial king. Master Pei couldn't understand why Zhao Fan dared to brag, because in his opinion, he was just a 5-star martial king. Zhao Fang only responded by releasing a huge wave of swords and defeating Master Pei. For killing the 7-star battle king, he received 700,000 experience points and 70,000 real strength points. The warriors saw that their captain was dead and were about to flee, since Zhao Fan was hiding his strength. Zhao Fang was angry with them because they did not think that the day would come when they would not abuse people. After these words, he hit them all with a powerful wave. For this, he achieved level 8 and became an 8-star martial king. Heading towards Situ Haoji, he was noticed by a certain guy sitting on the roof. He was going to quickly return and report this. Chen Kaishan and Dong Han were together. Dong Han spoke about Pei Jizu's order to surround Zhao Fan and they would soon arrest him. Chen Kaishan didn't care that the main city's combat power would be reduced too much, and Dong Han didn't think that the strength ranking of this city would change. At that moment, a guy came running and reported that Pei Zitsu and the city guards had been destroyed. They were shocked and they heard this. Dong Han decided to leave first, since there are very important matters in the family. Chen Kaishan did not argue. According to Dong Han, this time the capital was going to choose a daughter-in-law and it was a great opportunity for him, so he didn't intend to allow any trouble. After Dong Han left, Chen Kaishan suggested that he simply wanted to connect Zhao with Wandu. The servant wanted to know if the Lord was afraid of the golden mask, to which he received an angry negative answer. Chen Kaishan was going to take first place in the land of blue waterfalls this time. Later in the day, a certain grandfather asked about what happened to Pei Jizu. He was reported that as soon as the spies came to report that Master Pei had surrounded the man, the servants thought that the good news could reach them faster. Grandfather got angry and ordered to tell Pei Jizu that if that person was captured, he wanted to find out who was behind him. The servant obeyed and was about to leave, when suddenly the doors were blown to pieces and Zhao Fan arrived. He admitted that he killed Pei Jizu. Grandfather was shocked and wanted to find out who he was. Zhao Fang only began to attack him and he defended himself. Using the true power of the sphere, he responded to Zhao Fan, but he in turn rose into the air and sent a wave of swords towards his grandfather. Grandfather hit with purple magic rays, but Zhao Fan was too agile and dodged them. Until his grandfather's strength was the same as his, he believed that all attacks would be resolved by the force field. For such a case, grandfather had Lingyun Xiangbu. Because of Zhao Fan, he had wasted more than half of his strength and therefore promised to make him suffer. Zhao Fan continued to dodge his attacks, but he understood that sooner or later he would die and he needed to quickly level up. At this moment, the Golden General reported to the city lord that the soldiers had been assembled. Both the city lord and Zhao Fan were pleased with this in their own way. The city lord ordered an attack on Zhao Fan and promised to make rich any person who killed him. The troops began to attack him, and Zhao Fang was embarrassed by these troops, calling them inspired by experience points. Zhao Fan used 10 sword pulses and destroyed a large number of warriors, and also paralyzed the golden armored general. For killing a 4-star warrior, 10 8-star warriors, and 39 9-star warriors, he received 800,000 experience points and 80,000 Lingyun Xianbu skill points. He also accumulated 10 million points for the Lingyun Xianbu step and opened the 10th rank of Lingyun Xianbu step, improved the skill Lingyun Xianbu step, gaining the hidden skill of instant movement, which allows you to travel within a radius of 1,000 meters with the power of thought. The city lord didn't understand why Zhao Fan was laughing, assuming that if he is crazy, then he can help him. He tried to attack Zhao Fan, but was unable to hit him because he was so fast. Zhao Fan called out to him, because he was right behind him. Before he could turn around, Zhao Fan swung his sword and left the city lord without hair on the back of his head. Zhao Fan mocked Situ Haojia, he painted his face, and at that moment, the great lord of Biluo city was invited. The warriors saw the lord and were surprised, they laughed at him and couldn't stop. Situ Haojia became angry and promised to kill Zhao Fang. Zhao Fang understood that after killing more than 20 soldiers, he would be able to rise to the level of a 9-star martial king and kill the old man Situ Haojia. Situ Haojia saw that Zhao Fan was fighting and was surprised, because when he appeared in the city, Pei Zhiqiu should have easily dealt with him. He wondered why Zhao Fang was so strong now and assumed that he gained strength by committing murders. At this moment, Situ Haojia ordered the city soldiers to quickly run away and not get into a fight, and to conserve their strength. The soldiers were glad that now they would not have to fight Zhao Fan. Zhao Fan ran after them and asked them not to run away, because he had a couple of soldiers left to kill to raise the level. Situ Haojia understood that he must not let Zhao Fan become stronger by any means and began to use a true force field. A huge purple ball surrounded the soldiers and protected them from Zhao Fan's attacks. Zhao Fan asked about the reason to defend himself and challenged him to continue, to try to kill him. Situ Haojia stated that he knew why Zhao Fan's strength was steadily growing and he was no longer going to allow his soldiers to be killed. Zhao Fan was shocked that his secret was revealed. The soldiers were at first happy that their lives would be saved, but being sucked into the purple ball, they lost their lives. Zhao Fan noticed that Situ Haojia was pitiful because he killed all his own soldiers to keep him from leveling up. Situ Haojia promised to kill him at any cost, because the 100-year legacy of the Situ family was destroyed because of him. Someone was watching this from the side and was surprised that Situ Haojia actually took an oath to the Tao of martial arts. Zhao Fan understood that Situ Haojia was truly mad and had to level up as soon as possible. He fled from him, but Situ Haojia chased after him. The people saw this and Zhao Fang warned them that they needed to escape, as Situ Haojia had gone mad. Flying over them, he took the soul of everyone under him. Zhao Fan said that Situ Haojia should stop, because these are ordinary people and have nothing to do with their conflict. In response, he only received the words that these were all his people, and he was the ruler of this city and could kill anyone if he wanted. Zhao Fan wanted to stop this and the two of them clashed with blows. He realized that he was almost able to level up to kill Situ Haojia. From the outside, someone watched that Zhao Fan was losing to Situ Haojia and thought about helping him. Zhao Fan turned to the system for help and it discovered a mortal danger for the owner, offering to buy techniques or items to increase strength. He saw that all things were good and asked how many higher coins he had. The number of supreme coins Zhao Fang had left was 1, making it impossible to make a purchase. Not understanding where the remaining 999 coins went, the game invited him to open the chest of luck. Since he was the 1000th owner of the system, Zhao Fan, not knowing what to do, asked to simply open it. The roulette wheel spun and the game congratulated Zhao Fang for receiving the Deadly Rhythm card. Deciding that this was a wonderful card, he used it. The game notified about the start of the Deadly Rhythm. The duration was 10 minutes. Wondering who he should set against Situ Haojia, the system recorded the target as Chen Kaishan. Zhao Fan wanted to start this and called Situ Haojia to kill him if they could. Situ Haojia didn't understand how Zhao Fan dared to be so arrogant before his death. Bowing before Chen Kaishan, he said that he had lured Situ Haojia here as he ordered. Situ Haojia and Chen Kaishan were shocked by what they heard. Chen Kaishan did not understand what kind of nonsense Zhao Fan was talking about and tried to hit him, but he used a Deadly Rhythm card. At this moment, Chen Kaishan and Situ Haojia froze. Zhao Fan persuaded Situ Haojia, talking about the reason for killing his city guards. Situ Haojia's strength suffered greatly and Chen Kaishan benefited the most from this. Now he was stronger than him, but he had few soldiers. "From now on the city of Biluo will be named Chen," and spoke about the rumor that the youngest son of Situ Haojie was killed by Chen Kaishan's people. By running up to Chen Kaishan, he said that Situ Haojie was greatly weakened and it was time for the Chen family to rebel. After all these years of suppression, according to Zhao Fan, the name of the city should be Chen. After successfully turning them against each other, they both decided that they wanted to kill each other. Unexpectedly, Situ Haojie was killed by Chen Kaishing with the first blow, which is no less important. Chen Kaishing's martial ancestor level strength also played a significant role. Noticing that his pumping speed was not enough, Zhao Fan was about to speed up. Chen Kaishan was about to kill him and Zhao Fan noticed this. He was not going to let him do this, since this was his experience. Calling out to Chen Kaishan, Zhao Fan explained that after killing Situ Haojie, his people were still here. He suggested leaving Situ Haojie to Zhao Fan and going to the city lord's palace himself and destroying everyone. Chen Kaishing agreed to this and went to the palace. Zhao Fan understood that the time of the deadly rhythm card was almost running out. He turned to Situ Haojie, saying that he had no grudge, but the one who made him and his sons masters, in his opinion, mocked him. Situ Haojie did not understand who he was and asked about what happened to Feng Er. Zhao Feng, taking off his mask, admitted that he killed Situ Feng because he intended to insult his maid and beat him up. Taking off his mask, he introduced himself as Zhao Feng. Situ Haojie recognized him as the guy who had a marriage contract with Miss Yang. Zhao Feng asked to stop wasting his time and was going to kill Situ Haojie. Situ Haojie didn't want to just leave and wanted to take him with him. Zhao Fan realized that Situ Haojie wanted to blow himself up and moved some distance away from him, but the explosion still got him. Chen Kaishan, who was not far away, did not understand how he managed to fight with Lord Situ Haojie. The time was up, the effect of the card was over and Chen Kaishan realized that the guy in the golden mask was behind everything. The game congratulated Zhao Feng for killing the 9-star Battle King and reported that he had received 9 million experience points and 900,000 skill points. Zhao Fan was promoted to 9-star Martial Arts King. He was already a 9-level Martial King, but Chang Kaishing is a martial ancestor and he needed to continue to level up. Zhao Fan was approaching the site of Situ Haojie's remains and was planning to find something good. Noticing a certain jade pendant, it seemed a little strange to him. Taking it in his hands and not having time to do anything, it flew out of his hands. Zhao Fan realized that this was a jade amulet of communication. He used the step, Lingyun Xianbu, but the jade pendant still slipped out of his hands. Zhao Fan stopped and wondered who Situ Haojie had given this message to. At this moment, Chen Kaishan was flying towards him and was angry, because Zhao Fan dared to use him to kill Situ Haojie. Zhao Fan was confused because Chen Kaishan returned too early. Chen Kaishan didn't understand how it could be Zhao Fan, since he broke his meridians. According to Zhao Fan, he was blessed with a great destiny and Chen Kaishan would not be able to kill him so easily. Chen Kaishan doubted this, suggesting that he had some luck. Zhao Fan began to make excuses, but one way or another, Chen Kaishan was going to take away his luck. Due to Chen Kaishan rushing towards Zhao Fan, he had to use Lingyun Xianbu's step to dodge, but even after using it, he was not sure that he would be able to dodge. Chen Kaishan rushed after him, trying to catch him, but Zhao Fan dodged with all his might. Because he mocked him so much, Zhao Fan promised to blow up his house. Chen Kaishan was not going to leave it like that and caused a big explosion. While running away, Zhao Fan promised to kill him in any case. Chen Kaishan tried to stop Zhao Fan, but he was unstoppable. Running into the building, he promised that after those threats to him and his family, the Chen family would die. By using the killing array of 10 sword pulses, everything and everyone around him was destroyed. People begged for mercy and help from Chen Kaishan, but Zhao Fan was unstoppable. He killed a huge number of warriors and also gained a huge amount of skills and experience. Chen Kaishan got angry and was going to destroy Zhao Fan's family, torment everyone he loves, without stopping to eat and sleep. After these words, he went to Zhao Fan's family. Zhao Fan realized that they wanted to find his family, but he was not strong enough to resist him. Not understanding where to look for the answer, out of desperation he turned to the system, asking if there was any way to rise faster to the level of the martial ancestor. The game detected the owner's strong desire and the leveling task was launched. He was offered certain conditions and he immediately agreed. The system congratulated Zhao Feng for becoming a one-star martial ancestor. Going to his grandfather, he only wanted to be waited for. At this moment, at night in Yishui City, the Zhao family was together in the evening. Grandfather talked about how Zhao Fan had not been home for a long time and there was no news about his return. The girl hoped that everything was okay with him. They were interrupted by Chen Kaishan, who burst into the house. He stated that Zhao Feng was fine. But from now on they won't be okay. Grandfather did not understand the reason for Chen Kaishan's presence in their house, but he only ordered to ask his grandson. Grandfather and the young girl became worried and asked about Zhao Fan's condition. Chen Kaishan insisted that he should die soon, as well as his family. After these words, he ordered to go to hell and wait for Zhao Fan there, trying to kill the girl. Grandfather managed to push her away and an explosion occurred, which was heard by the street guards. He felt bad because he was wounded. The girl tried to help him and Chen Kaishan saw it. He guessed that she was Zhao Fan's woman, so he promised to kill her and hang her on the wall so that he would go crazy from what he saw. Grandfather, despite his wounds, was not going to give up and challenged Chen Kaishan to a fight. Chen Kaishan did not consider his grandfather to be his opponent. At that moment, the guards ran in and began to threaten Chen Kaishan. Grandfather told them all to leave immediately, because Chen Kaishan is a martial ancestor. They were injured after some attacks and were not going to go against him anymore. Chen Kaishan reached Zhao Fan's woman and assured her that he would make sure that she and Zhao Fan would unite. She tripped over the rubble and fell and asked for help. Chen Kaishan wanted to call it a day and strike the final blow, but Zhao Fan suddenly appeared and protected his woman. From the collision of their two forces, a huge explosion occurred. Chen Kaishan was shocked and wanted to know the secret technique that Zhao Fan used, because he was as strong as him. The guards rejoiced, and along with them, Zhao Feng's woman. Everyone rejoiced at his return. Zhao Fan calmed the girl down and only ordered her to hide her grandfather. When he left, according to his grandfather, Zhao Fan had to deal with Chen Kaishan once and for all. Zhao Fan did not intend to leave any doubts about himself. Chen Kaishan gloated and called Zhao Fan arrogant, since he himself was completely confident in his abilities, and that nothing could compare with them. Zhao Fan in response only asked to be more careful with his statements, because he is now also a martial ancestor. After these words, each of them was enveloped in a sphere of fire. Chen Kaishan couldn't believe Zhao Fan's transition to the martial ancestor realm since not even half a day had passed. Zhao Fan did not consider Chen Kaishan a worthy opponent, but rather the opposite. In his opinion, he is slowing down the development process of such a young master. He tried to kill him, but Chen Kaishan ran away, realizing that Zhao Fan had advanced in cultivation and was confident that he could not kill him. He decided it was better to retreat first and then find a chance. Zhao Fan noticed that they wanted to escape from him and used sword impulses. The swords completely surrounded Chen Kaishan. He admitted that he did not want to die. According to Zhao Fan, Chen Kaishan destroyed his meridians and humiliated his family, so he was lucky to die like this. For killing him, Zhao Fan received 3 million experience points and 300,000 skill points. He also received a green character summon card. Due to the fact that Situ Haojia and Chen Kaishan were killed, his family could finally rest peacefully for a while. The guards rejoiced that the young master would not be defeated and their Zhao clan would restore its greatness in the city of Yishui. He ordered them to follow the order. The Zhao family's children were to immediately rescue the wounded and repair the family home. Zhao Fan met his grandfather and asked about his condition. Grandfather was not in pain at all. He was just going to rest for half a month, but now there was some hidden danger. Taking out some kind of ring, the spirit of Situ Haojia crawled out of it, who ordered Fan to avenge him. According to him, the person who killed him was from the city of Yishui. Grandfather said that this thing was recovered from Situ Feng's corpse. It must have been Situ Haojia who conveyed the message to his sons before he died. Zhao Fan laughed at what he heard and asked him not to worry, since his grandson was a martial ancestor and promised to kill Situ Cheng if he dared to come. Grandfather only hoped that this would be the case. At this moment in the Xuanji clan, Situ Cheng pledged to kill Zhao Feng, because he was not strong enough, and if he wants to take revenge, he can only ask them for help. In Yishui City, in the Zhao family, Zhao Fan asked his grandfather how else he could return to the main line, other than the martial arts competition held every 3 years by the main line. grandfather suggested that he wished to return the Zhao clan of Ishui to the main clan lineage. Zhao Fan confirmed this and was going to return not only them to the main line, but also find the one who brutally injured his father back then. Grandfather was glad that Zhao Fan thought so well and assured that he was worthy to be Jean Heir's son and his grandson. Zhao Fan was told that besides the clan's martial arts competition, the only way to return to the main line was to defeat the first genius among the main line's peers. In his opinion, it is so difficult because the resources of the main line's genius were unavailable to the branch when the war was going on. Zhao Fan was confident in himself and believed that no one else could, but he, as a person with a system, could. He trained for a month, used the system, increased his strength, took away treasures, etc. In the evening, Zhao Fan was in his room. Suddenly the doors opened and a girl came rushing towards him. She admitted that she was very bored, but Zhao Fan did not understand what she was doing in his room. Zhao Fan changed his mind and himself confessed to Zi Shan about his love for her, but considering that their family had only recently been attacked. Zi Shan interrupted him, saying that she only wanted to practice martial arts with him. He was surprised when he heard this, because her physique was not capable of cultivation. Zi Shan no longer wanted to be for Zhao Fan, since he always comes to save her anyway. Zhao Fan laughed and promised that he would do everything possible so that she could practice martial arts. As she went to bed, she talked about her anticipation of Zhao Fan's 16th birthday. She was going to prepare a great gift for him and make him the happiest man in the world. The next day, Zhao Fan was told that when the third junior miss of the Yang family from Biluo City was approved by the main line of the capital clan, they terminated the marriage contract with them. This time, Zhao Fang was going to go to the Yang family's house himself to inquire about the major news. He left and they asked him to take care of himself. At night, in Biluo City at the Yang family's house, Zhao Fang was watching this house. But 3 days had already passed and the people from the Zhao family had not yet arrived from the royal capital. If they didn't arrive, he was going to leave. At this moment, news rang out to the servants that the envoy and the people of the Zhao family from the royal capital were almost there. Jan Dughan personally promised that if anything went wrong, he would skin them. Finally they arrived. Yang Dughan, from the Yang family of the Xiaocheng clan, welcomed the arrival of the envoy. Zhao Fan, watching them, did not see a single worthy opponent for himself. There was 1 3-star martial king and 4 1-star martial kings. Zhao Qing asked the patriarch of the Yang family where the third miss of the Yang family was. He needed to conduct testing to make sure of her physique. Jan Dughan spoke about a recent incident, the murder of people in the city. Due to this, the youngest daughter was shocked, and the spiritual energy in the body was cultivated. From what they heard, everyone around laughed, because in their opinion, a warrior cannot be afraid of murder. Out of anger, his foot sank into the asphalt, and he himself ordered to stop talking nonsense and come out as the third miss of the Yang family. Jan Dughan was scared and agreed to do it. Zhao Fan thought about the words about his special physique, suggesting that it was identical to his. At this moment, the youngest miss of the family came out, admitting that she was glad to see all the envoys. Zhao Qing called her over and began to touch her head. Yen Dughan, who was watching this, counted on her to cope. Unexpectedly, one of the Zhao clan called out to Zhao Qing to convey some information. Yen Dughan wanted to know about the physique of his youngest daughter. He was congratulated that his youngest daughter had a Yingding body, and now the Yang family would be able to join his Zhao family. Yen Dughan was very happy, believing that now his family would finally ascend. People were also happy that the Yang family's ancestors had blessed them. Zhao Fan noticed his true face. Yang Dughan, happy to be a dog according to him. Zhao Qing reported rumors that the younger sister was previously engaged to the Zhao family from Ishui City. Jan Dughan confirmed this and began to make excuses that they had already abandoned the marriage. Zhao Qing said that the Zhao family from Ishui City is the line left by his Zhao family from the royal capital. There are many elders in the family who do not like this family, and he said this so that Yen Dughan would understand. Yen Dughan realized and promised after the envoy's departure to send someone to remove them. Zhao Qing praised him for his intelligence. Zhao Fan was surprised because he had not touched them yet, but they were already taking the initiative to send someone to his family. Having put on a golden mask, he was forced to prevent this, because they were the first to take a step against him. Zhao Qing was going to call it a day, but first he had to pick up Miss Wang. Yen Dughan suggested that they stay and rest for one night, because they had prepared everything for the feast. When he left, he refused because of important matters at hand. At this moment, the warriors stopped seeing anything, and from the side there was a question whether they asked him about leaving. Zhao Fan noticed that Patriarch Yang's house was quite lively this evening. Seeing the guy in the golden mask, Yen Dughan was speechless and did not understand the purpose of his visit. He introduced himself and said that today, his Yang family was receiving guests and hoped for understanding. Zhao Qing stated that Zhao Fan should know that he is from the capital Zhao family and wants to take someone away. Zhao Fan repeated his words, namely that they would all die today. After these words, he released a huge magical lion, the color of the sun. Zhao Qing began to defend himself, but he understood that this attack was very strong and he would not be able to stop it. Yang Dughan rushed to Miss Wang and asked for leniency for his Yang family. Zhao Fan stunned him with a blow and ordered him to remain silent if he did not want to follow in the footsteps of the Chen and Situ family. Yang Dughan understood that uniting with the Zhao family was tempting, but it was not important for the family's survival. Zhao Qing was preparing for a fight and wanted to know what they wanted from him. Zhao Fan got ahead of him and, putting his hand to his throat, asked about the number of martial ancestors he had in the Zhao family from the royal capital, as well as how many there were outside. Zhao Qing began to sweat with excitement. He did not understand who Zhao Fan was and for what purpose he would find out information about his Zhao family. The soldiers standing around ordered their brother Qin to be released. Someone suggested that Zhao Fang most likely had bad intentions. Zhao Fan considered this naive and instantly destroyed some of the soldiers. The rest of the soldiers were shocked and felt the fear of death. He asked his question again, to which he received the answer that his Zhao clan has endless resources. All 9 clan elders are supreme martial ancestors, in addition to another 14 low-level martial ancestors. His clan's patriarch is a 3-star martial lord, the hidden clan elder is a 3-star battle lord, the clan's greatest pride was Master Zhao Yuanhao, a 5-star martial lord. Zhao Fan realized that the strength of the Zhao family in the royal capital was too great. Zhao Qing, recalling his words that their master Zhao had limitless potential and experience, wanted to know if Zhao Fan would dare to be arrogant after learning about the strength of his Zhao clan family. Zhao Fan admitted that the Zhao family in the royal capital was indeed powerful. He was not as good as her, but it was easy for him to kill them all. After these words, a bright solar wave was heard from him. Zhao Qing bowed to him and admitted that they were wrong. He understood that Zhao Fang's strength was putting pressure on him, forcing him to bow to him. Zhao Fan waved his hand and the soldiers, along with Zhao Qin, flew away not far away. Miss Wang and Yang Dughan, who were watching this, believed that they needed to beg Zhao Fan not to kill Zhao Qing and the others, otherwise her Yen family would be involved. Approaching the prone Zhao Qing, Zhao Fan was now asking about the strongest martial artist under the age of 30 in the Zhao family. Zhao Qing said that such a person is his eldest elder brother Yuanzong. He is 23 years old. He is a 3-star martial ancestor, the strongest genius in the young generation, according to him. Praising himself, he did not think that he was such a powerful genius. Zhao Qing wanted to know what he meant. Zhao Fan said that he has a younger brother from the Zhao clan in Ishui City. His name is Zhao Fan. Everyone was shocked by what they heard, and Zhao Qing realized that the guy standing in front of him was there to intercede for Zhao Fang. Zhao Fan began to introduce him as very talented, amazing and completely polite. He is so beautiful that flowers bloom at the sight of him. While praising himself, he simultaneously belittled Zhao Qing, calling him much weaker. Yang Dughan couldn't believe it, since Zhao Fang's meridians were broken and the Sea of Qi was destroyed. According to Zhao Fan, a month later he went to the royal capital to challenge Zhao Yuanzong and then they would see who the genius was. Zhao Qing was also shocked and did not understand how such a demon could appear in the Zhao family from Ishui City, which had almost turned into a destroyed branch. With the help of his master martial emperor, younger brother Zhao Fang's training naturally grew rapidly. Inside himself, he was glad that he came up with a story about the master and scared them all. He reproached Zhao Qing that his younger brother Zhao Fang had the support of a master. For him Zhao Yuanhao being a 5-star martial ancestor was nonsense. Zhao Qing understood that a 1-star martial emperor could destroy the 3 great clans of the royal capital and admitted that it was all over. They had to hurry up and report this to the family. Bowing before Zhao Fan again, he paid him tribute and promised not to bother them anymore, since the elder's strength was high. After these words, Zhao Fan ordered them to leave. They immediately began to fly away when Miss Wang asked about her. Zhao Qing only replied that you should rely only on yourself. Miss Wang was shocked that she was being abandoned. Everything she had planned for years was all gone, in her opinion. She rushed at Yang Dughan, accusing him of the fact that if he had not cancelled the engagement to Zhao Fan, then this would not have come to this. They all started beating Yang Dughan, blaming him for what happened. Zhao Fan laughed from the sidelines at the fact that they were all fooled by him. Miss Wang called out to him and asked him to tell him that her family forced her to give up the marriage. Now she wants to be Zhao Fan's concubine. Having hit her, he ordered her to get out of there. He believed that it was useless to brag, since he would still have to go to the Mo Yun mountain range to swing on the monsters as soon as possible. Otherwise, sooner or later he would be beaten and left a fool. Situa Cheng, the eldest son of Situ Haojia, came to a certain place. He wondered if this was the killer tavern that had lain on the continent for thousands of years and claimed to be able to kill even martial emperors. They asked him who exactly he wanted to kill. He replied furiously that this person was Zhao Fang. For the performer this was no problem. Placing the box of coins on the table, Sito Cheng asked about the time of the assassin's departure. He was assured that the killers were already on their way. The two assassins were on their way to eliminate Zhao Fan. When they reached Yishui City, the target was confirmed. At night, in Yishui City, in the Zhao family, people gathered and wondered what to do now that Chen Kaishan was dead and the Zhao family's external problems had been eliminated. Two major families of Bilo County had disappeared, so this was an opportunity for them to take power into their own hands. Someone suggested first taking full control of Yishui City and waiting for Zhao Fan to return and discuss it with him. At this moment, the assassins rushed in and looked for Zhao Fang. They ordered him to come out. Grandfather asked them who they were and if there was any trouble. At that moment, the guards ran in and the grandfather pointed to the two killers who had come after Zhao Fan. The killers did not wait and began to destroy the soldiers. Grandfather was shocked as these two were one-star martial ancestors and the Zhao clan would not be able to resist them now. He asked them a question about the purpose of the visit to the Zhao family home. The killers said that the Zhao family must hand over Zhao Fan, otherwise the family will die. The surviving people wondered what they should do now, because the Zhao family rebelled because of Zhao Fan and was now in danger of being destroyed because of Zhao Fan. The girl believed that if Zhao Fan were there, they would not dare to act so arrogantly. Grandfather admitted that Zhao Fang is not at home right now. The question immediately followed about when he would return and if they deceived him. They promised to kill him today. Grandfather understood that this was a lot of pressure and said that he did not dare to hide his master Zhao. According to him, Zhao Fan went to cultivate and doesn't know when he will return. At that moment, grandfather began to feel ill. Everyone rushed to help him. One of the killers promised to send them to hell if they did not tell them where Zhao Fan was. Then he released a huge paw with red energy. The girl stood up for her grandfather and told him not to touch him. After these words, her spirit rose into the air. The killer and grandfather were shocked by what they saw. Considering her physique divine, he decided to bring her, since this is a greater achievement than just killing people. Having taken Zishan, one of the killers said that they were lucky today, because they would not lose their lives. Grandfather ordered to find Zhao Fan and tell him that Zishan was captured. Next, the guy who ordered the murder of Zhao Fan asked the Lord when he would be able to see Zhao Fan's head. The Lord assured that a minute would be enough for the insignificant martial ancestor. Sitting at the table, he contemplated how he would offer the head as a sacrifice to the spirit of his father. The killers appeared from the fog and were noticed. The question immediately arose whether they had brought the head. They apologized for not finding Zhao Fan, but they found someone special. Having laid the girl down, the Lord could not believe his eyes, namely that he saw the shining body of a hellish star. The son of Situ Haojia asked the Lord where Zhao Fan's head was. He suggested that the murder tavern was not keeping its word. The Lord, with a malicious smile, asked if he dared to doubt the murder tavern. He shot something incomprehensible from his hand and hit the ear of the customer Zhao Fan. According to him, the actions of the murder tavern are undeniable and otherwise, next time it will be his life. Situ Haojia's son began to apologize and wanted to leave. The killer said that this girl with the shining body of a hell star was connected with Zhao Fan, asking whether they needed to continue this mission. The Lord believed that they should not worry about it and they would make a decision after they reported it to the top. On the Mo Yun mountain range, Zhao Fan was tired after spending so much time killing monsters. But at the same time, he was glad that he had finally reached the 5-star martial ancestor. At this moment, an incomprehensible sound was heard. Turning around, Zhao Fan saw a golden tiger who was angry that someone had stepped into his territory. It was a spirit beast level boss, a rank 5, order 5 fire golden king tiger. Zhao Fan was not afraid, but was happy, because he had found an equal opponent for practice. The golden tiger rushed at him, using the heavenly fierce tiger bite. Zhao Fan waited until the last moment for the tiger to approach him and used the Lingyun Xiangbu step. With his help, he immediately disappeared and found himself on top of the tiger. Before the tiger even realized that Zhao Fan was on top, 10 sword pulses rained down on him. Such force caused a large explosion. For killing the 5th rank boss, the fiery golden tiger king, Zhao Fan received 25 million experience points and 250,000 skill points. Having also received the fire beast core and the golden beast core, he was asked to open them. Having opened it, he received the essence of the blood of the tiger king and the skill, taming the beast. Thanks to the learned skill, taming the beast, Zhao Fang, after raising the level of this skill, will be able to gather an army of spiritual beasts. He headed into the forest, looking for small spiritual beasts. Sitting in the bushes, he watched the actions of the blue-fanged wolf of the 1st level. Deciding that he would start with him, he jumped out of the bushes and used the skill of curbing the beast. The capture was unsuccessful, which gave +5 to skill. The system warned Zhao Fang that the blue-fanged wolf had entered a berserker state and was about to use his racial techniques. Zhao Fang didn't want to hear this, since he was a 3-star martial ancestor and could not be scared by some wolf. At this moment, more wolves appeared in the canyon, beginning to circle Zhao Fan. Realizing that he could not cope with them, Zhao Fan began to flee. A pack of wolves and the largest of the wolves, with level 66, the boss Silver Wolf, ran behind him. Zhao Fan ran with all his might, but the wolves did not retreat and continued to attack. It was then that he decided not to give up, suddenly turning around to capture them. Initially, he was unable to successfully use the beast restraint skill. For each unsuccessful capture, he received +5 to his skill. Unexpectedly, the game congratulated Zhao Fang for successfully capturing a mid-tier beast, the blue-fanged wolf. He did not stop there and continued to try to capture the wolves. After a couple of attempts, he was able to capture a 2nd-order beast, a fiery wolf. And finally, Zhao Fan managed to capture a spiritual beast, a rank 3 shadow wolf and a blue-faced demon wolf, a 4th-rank spiritual beast. Rejoicing that he had finally finished with this matter, another wolf was waiting for him behind him. Zhao Fan was ready to fight him, but the wolf only began to lick him. Next, already riding a wolf, Zhao Fan was pleased that his army of spiritual animals had been assembled and now they were setting off to meet the experience. In the forest inhabitants went about their every business and there was no noise. But this silence was interrupted by Zhao Fan and his army of spiritual animals, who burst into the forest and rushed, on Zhao Fan's orders, to kill them all. Zhao Fan was congratulated for killing the 8th-level beast, the silver iron-backed lizard, for which he received 800,000 experience points and 80,000 skill points. He was also able to decapitate the 5th-order beast mystical cloud leopard, for which he received 1 million experience points and 100,000 skill points. Being on the hill and observing the beautiful views, Zhao Fan decided that he was going to very dangerous places in the Mo Yun Ridge. If he could kill all the 5th-rank spirit beasts and catch several 6th and 7th-rank spirit beasts as fighters, he would really be able to level up quickly. A pack of wolves chased the animals to gain experience, but Zhao Fan did not see a single beast, assuming that it was in the false Mo Yun Ridge. Raising his head, he saw blood rushing into the sky and the spirit beasts disappeared. This was a great omen of evil. Knowing this, he wanted to find out if there were treasures there. Getting closer and simply observing from the bushes, Zhao Fan saw a certain altar and spiritual beasts gathered around it. At this moment, Mo Qi appeared in the altar area. There were people around him who were reporting on the speedy receipt of the spirit beasts that had been attracted to give their blood essence to Mo Qi. Mo Qi was pleased with this, as this time he was going to use up all their resources just to help the 2 old ancestors break through the martial emperor stage and become martial saints. In this case, he he believed that his Mo clan would become a 7th grade power. The people supported him and he got down to business. It began to absorb all the spirit beasts standing around. Zhao Fan suddenly realized that this method relied on Lingji's blood to attract the spirit beasts, but once the spirit beasts got close, their blood was taken away by this array. Noticing that some animals had not yet died, he was going to take them for himself. Seeing so many spirit beasts walking towards the altar, Zhao Fan felt that now was the time to strike. After jumping from the hill, the game notified him a large number of times about the killed creature. At the end, he reached the experience limit, for which he was offered to increase his level. Zhao Fan didn't want to level up because he was having a good time. Mo Chi watched as something was trying to get through to him and was immediately informed about a person from the outside who was killing demonic beasts and interfering with the ritual. Mo Chi just wondered what his level was and found out that that person from the outside was a 5-star martial ancestor. He didn't understand how a 5-star martial ancestor could scare his servants so much, after which he sent the 31st and 32nd to investigate. Zhao Fan was busy increasing his experience and calculated that with the experience he had accumulated, he would be able to rise to 3 levels, thereby becoming an 8-star martial ancestor. At this moment, someone called Zhao Fang, but he did not understand. The 31st and 32nd came out to show themselves to him. He immediately realized that these were 2 8-star ancestors and used Lingyun Xianbu, after which he jumped back, dodging their attack. The people sent to kill him did not even imagine that he was capable of anything. Zhao Fan realized that these two were much stronger than him and he had to find a way to lure them to a position at the center of the tide of beasts. The envoys rushed at him, promising to let him know that all his tricks against the 8-star martial ancestor were nothing. Zhao Fan teased them that they couldn't touch his clothes and ran away. People chased after him, but Zhao Fan was agile and stained them with animal feces. The envoys promised to kill him for such actions, but Zhao Fang only again challenged them to catch up with him. They didn't consider themselves that stupid, so they didn't, but Zhao Fan outplayed them and dirtied them from head to toe. What Zhao Fan did made them even more angry and promised to kill him, but he whistled and a pack of wolves rushed at the messengers. Mo Chi was asked if it was too much for a simple 5-star ancestor to send 2 8-star ancestors. Mo Chi's explanation was that the 2 martial ancestors of his Mo clan were in the process of achieving the rank of saint and in order to avoid making mistakes, it would be good to remain careful. At that moment a man came running and reported that the 31st and 32nd had been lured into a pack of animals and killed. After hearing this, Mo Lu was ordered to lead the 5 9-star ancestors and destroy the one who dared to treat the 31st and 32nd like that. Zhao Fang began to be surrounded by a pack of beasts, and he understood that the people within this formation had already been warned, but this was a rare opportunity to level up, which would be difficult to encounter in 100 years, and he needed to grab it. People came out of the pack of beasts and asked the only question: Zhao Fan Li killed their other people. Zhao Fan noticed that the demonic beasts were afraid of this man, but for some reason he didn't see anyone. Suddenly, warnings rang out about the discovery of the power of a 1-star martial lord. Since Zhao Fan realized this too late, he was hit. Not knowing what to do, he used the Lingyun Xianbu step and moved aside, but the enemy blade still caught his clothes. Zhao Fang did not show his fear, but only laughed at the simple 1-star martial lord. Mo Lu stated that today, Zhao Fan had really angered him. Mo Lu admitted that now no one could save Zhao Fan and quickly approached him. Zhao Fan barely managed to dodge, using Lingyun Xianbu's step. Zhao Fan was going to fight against him in the same way as the previous ones, but he couldn't, because Mo Lu changed the direction of Zhao Fan's actions, towards himself. Zhao Fan continued to use the Lingyun Xianbu step and ran away from Mo Lu. He understood that it was so close that he almost could not escape. Mo Lu challenged him to fight him head-on. But Zhao Fan called him to catch up with the younger one and used the step of Lingyun Xianbu to outwit him. No matter how much Mo Lu tried to attack, he still didn't hit. A day later, Zhao Fan ran into some forest. He understood that if he went on like this, he would end up in the depths of the Mo Yun Ridge. He had also heard about a large number of rank 7 and 8 demonic beasts there. If the martial lord entered there, he believed that he would die. At that moment, Mo Lu arrived and wanted to see where Zhao Fan would run next, because ahead was the main area of the Mo Yun Ridge. Zhao Fan didn't want him to think that he had no way out. Mo Lu laughed that just a 5-star martial ancestor dared to speak like that in front of him. But Zhao Fan was going to show his strength in opening the system menu. He requested a promotion. Since he had accumulated a lot of experience, in an instant, he became an 8-star martial ancestor, which surprised Mo Lu. Zhao Fan did not wait and dealt him a crushing blow. Mo Lu stopped the blade with 2 fingers and declared that no matter what secret techniques he used, he could not escape death from the martial lord. After these words, he struck, but hit the shadow. For Zhao Fan, this was very close and he noticed something strange. Mo Lu no longer catches up with him. Turning around, Zhao Fan realized that he had fallen into a trap and hastily teleported to the central region of the Mo Yun Ridge. Mo Lu said that if Zhao Fan had the courage, he would never come out of there. Zhao Fan understood that if he left there, he would definitely die. Although death also awaited Mo Yun in the core area of the ridge, there was still a chance to survive. It was the lesser of 2 evils. Pointing his finger at Mo Lu, he promised that he would always remember him when he returned alive and took his life. Mo Lu only laughed at these words, because even if he entered the center of the Mo Yun Ridge, he would not live for more than 3 hours, and Zhao Fan wants to get out of there alive. At this moment, more people appeared from behind the trees, whom Mo Lu asked about the reason for his long absence. Mo Lu began to mock them that they couldn't even catch up with the boy. They were outraged, because he himself had done nothing, and he pointed out that Zhao Fan had reached the very heart of the Mo Yun Ridge. One of the squad offered to go in there and search, but they explained to him that the 6th master was standing at the border, and Zhao Fan did not allow him to take a step. Mo Lu stopped them, assuring them that the boy would definitely die if he got inside, and they shouldn't risk themselves. There was a strong wave. Turning around, they saw the explosion and realized that this was the greatest of treasures. Not everyone in the squad knew about this, and Mo Lu said that this Mo Yun Ridge contained the greatest treasure, and for 1,000 years, countless experts searched for it, but most of them lost their lives and did not find that legendary greatest treasure. He couldn't believe that they had stumbled upon the ultimate treasure. Someone from the squad suggested that if this turned out to be true, this would be hope for the revival of their Mo clan. Some were going to stay because there were so many dangers. Mo Lu believed that compared to the great opportunity for the rise of the Mo clan, no dangers mattered. Afterwards, he gave the order to follow him in order to capture the greatest treasure and revive the Mo clan. The 26th was sure that there was treasure there and flew towards the shining dragons, but before he could fly up, he was illuminated by a bright light and he was incinerated. Zhao Fan was on the ground and the system suddenly warned him of extreme danger. He immediately used the Lingyun Xianbu step and miraculously survived. The bright light continued to incinerate the rest of Mo Lu's squad and himself. Watching this, Zhao Fan realized that this golden light was so strong that even the strongest martial lords could not hold on for even a moment. A forbidden artifact was accidentally found and the game asked whether to get it. Zhao Fan saw and assumed that it was that big spear, but the game only asked the same question. He was in thought as this spear appeared from a beam of light and destroyed the battle lord. If he followed him, he was afraid that he would be blown to pieces. The system urged him to obtain the forbidden artifact, explaining that they were rare throughout the martial arts world. Then she asked whether the player wanted to surrender, but Zhao Fan wanted to hear the conditions in order to take the spear. The system reported that the player must spend 100 million coins to obtain the weapon. Zhao Fan was shocked by this amount and simply offered to rob him for such a price. Zhao Fan admitted that even if he sold everything he had, he would not be able to find 100 million coins. He was about to leave when the game offered him a loan and indicated the direction in which he needed to go to the sword and pull it out. Taking his will into his fist, Zhao Fan decided that there was no turning back and he needed to act. Coming closer, he was surprised by such a scale and began to pull the spear out of the ground. The animal sensed something was wrong and began to run away from there. From under the spear raised by Zhao Fan, a certain ball of smoke came out, which he couldn't believe came out. Zhao Fan was dumbfounded by what he heard and could not understand who said it. Immediately the spear began to shrink to normal size. The system congratulated him for spending 100 million coins and receiving the weapon of the God Fighter. He wanted to start by viewing its properties, but when he opened them, he was unpleasantly surprised. After all, in the properties panel there was no information about the level and strength of the item. since the owner's strength was too low to display. Zhao Feng considered this weapon so amazing that he asked the question of killing a strong representative of the martial lords, but the system notified that the player was too weak to use the spear. When the player reaches the level of martial emperor, then the spear can be summoned again. Zhao Fan was angry, because he understood that there was nothing good in this and the system deceived him again. At this moment, the system notified Zhao Feng that a mandatory mission had been launched to return 100 million coins within 1 year. The reward for the mission was the Heart of the Ocean artifact. In case of failure, the player will be wiped off the face of the earth. At this moment, Zhao Feng was deafened by a sound. Looking around, he saw a flying skull, which declared that from now on the Mo Yun Ridge was his territory. Zhao Fan suspected that this was some kind of disaster and decided to leave first, using the Lingyun Xianbu step. Further into the Mo clan, Mo Qi felt that something serious had happened and ordered his servants to leave. By clicking on the golden tablet hanging in the air, they got to Mo Dao. He didn't understand what was happening, because in a few more days he would break through to the rank of saints. Mo Qi asked to pay attention and pointed to something. Turning around, Mo Dao guessed that it was in the direction of the Mo Yun Ridge. They became interested in who pulled out the spear. In the murder tavern, the master saw Zhao Fan with his third eye and wondered. One of the killers standing nearby asked who Zhao Fan was, for which he received a blow. The killer immediately began to apologize, and my lord asked next time just not to say anything stupid, after which he continued to meditate. After a while, he stated that Zhao Fan pulled out the spear on Mo Yun's ridge. My lord was going upstairs to report on this matter, and was leaving the tavern under the control of the assassins. During the day, Zhao Feng snuck into the Zhao family's territory and wondered about such a high level of security. The servants began to greet the young master and the grandfather immediately appeared. When asked what was going on with them, he only replied that it was a long story. After a while, Zhao Fan was still told about what happened and he was angry at the murder tavern. Grandfather dissuaded him, since this matter could not be disclosed to the public, because the reputation of the tavern was too great. Zhao Fan reassured his grandfather, promising that he would not be impulsive, but now he was ready to go to the royal capital. Grandfather accepted this decision and asked him not to forget that there was still a family behind him. Zhao Fan said that this time he went to the royal capital not only to find the murder tavern, but also to visit the Zhao family, to defeat the existing geniuses, and return himself back to the Zhao family. Grandfather also remembered something about the Zhao family. A few days ago, an expert named Zhao Su came to the Yan family, from the capital Zhao family, to take care of Yan Wanzhuan's wedding. Zhao Fan was angry that they dared to come. Next in the Yan family, people congratulated the head of the Yan family. They also intended to look up to the head of the Yan family in the future. He invited them there to worship him because of their relationship with the capital Zhao family. Yan Wanwan didn't expect that the appearance of the golden mask would make the capital Zhao family take her more seriously and send a strong martial ancestor to make her marriage happen. Zhao Su said that it was already late and it was time to hit the road. Yan Wanwan immediately agreed, but Zhao Su was dissatisfied with her inside. After all, she considered herself the wife of the Zhao family, but in fact, in his opinion, she was a furnace for cultivating their young master. A protective carriage that could fly immediately appeared. She was the legacy of the Zhao family and her defense was so strong that with the strength of Zhao Su at the peak of a martial general, she could not be broken. Zhao Su said that this carriage was specially sent by his master to pick up Lady Yan and none of the 9-star martial kings would be able to break through the defense. Everyone was shocked by such details, but immediately a request was made not to be too verbose and the carriage was destroyed to pieces, and in its place Zhao Fan appeared in a golden mask. The people were shocked, and the head of the Yan family rushed to Zhao Su, saying that the guy in the golden mask had appeared again. People panicked and didn't know where to go, but Zhao Su saw no reason to be afraid of him. Pointing his finger at Zhao Fan, he was going to find out if this golden mask was the same one. Yan Wanwan asked the golden mask to calm down, since the people of the Zhao family were already there and if he was not looking for death, then he should leave. Zhao Fan was interested in her words and instantly rushed over to her and lifted her off the ground. He didn't like her talking to him like that. Zhao Su considered this impudence, because she is the one the Zhao family wants. After these words, it was ordered to let her go, otherwise she would regret it. Yan Wanwan admitted that she was a member of the Zhao family and if he dared to kill her, then Zhao Fan and he would also be destroyed. These words also interested Zhao Fan and he asked about it. Zhao Fan decided to let her go. The people standing there thought that the man in the golden mask was also afraid of the Zhao family. They did not understand the logic of his actions and attributed everything to the search for death. The leader of the Yan family warned Zhao Fan, saying that today was his family's lucky day and he could leave now with his life. Zhao Fan believed that he still wanted to kill him, but the leader only stood up for the elder of the Zhao Su family. Yan Wanwan did not want to just let him go and told her father about this so that they cut off 2 of Zhao Fan's legs. Hearing this, he approached Elder Zhao and proposed to deprive Zhao Fan of his cultivation to prevent him from doing anything wrong in the future. Zhao Fang mocked their naivety that they thought the reason he let Yan Wanwan go was because he was afraid of the Zhao family. The leader of the Yan family was shaking with fear, and Zhao Fang said in such a case that the Yan family would also be destroyed, in addition to the Zhao family. People were shocked by such a statement, and the elder of the family, Zhao Su, reminded himself. Zhao Fan in response only asked not to interfere in this confusion, since this is a personal enmity between him and the Yan family. The elder called Zhao Fan and wanted to check what they would do to him if he had a desire to intervene. The leader of the Yan family told the golden mask to calm down and understand who he was talking to, once again reminding who Mr. Zhao Su was. The elder of the Zhao family did not wait and ran towards Zhao Fan to tell about the consequences of the capital family's anger. He was going to let Zhao Fan meet the powerful martial ancestor of the capital Zhao family. Having struck, he was shocked, as only his illusion remained in Zhao Fan's place, and he himself found himself behind. It was funny to him, because with such a cultivation base, they dared to appear in front of him. As he approached, the elder wondered whether Zhao Fang would dare to kill him because he was from the capital Zhao family, but to Zhao Fang, the capital Zhao family was just trash. After these words, there was a swing of the sword and the elder of the Zhao family was no more. People were shocked by this action, and the leader of the Yan family fell to his knees. He apologized and explained that he was blind. Zhao Fang remembered all his words and asked again about breaking his arms and destroying his cultivation. Pointing his sword at him, he declared that today the Yan family was expelled from Biluo City. Yan Wanwan believed that Zhao Fan could not do this, because there were no hard feelings between them. Zhao Fan asked about claims or grievances, reminding that if it weren't for Zhao Su, today he would be lying on the ground. Yan Wanwan had nothing to answer, and Zhao Fang began to kill all the people there. The smoke standing there cleared and Zhao Fan and Yan Wanwan appeared. After eliminating the last threat to his grandfather and their Zhao family, he was going to head to the capital with peace of mind. Yan Wanwan asked not to kill her, but Zhao Fan only wanted to hear a reason not to do so. He was told about the special physique, but he was not impressed. According to her, she knew that the capital's Zhao family accepted her as a wife only because of her physique. It was also an unfortunate fate for her. She was ready to be Zhao Fan's servant and he realized that she was born with a yin body, which is perfect for cultivation. Deciding to leave, he ordered to wait a little. Yan Wanwan was already thinking about her plan, namely that she would wait until they reached the capital, then move into the Zhao family and make his life worse than death. Zhao Fan went into the store and was going to exchange one heart control pill. The game reported that this could not be done due to the price of 1,000 higher coins and the player did not have enough coins. Then Zhao Fang exchanged the Yan family's treasures and gave Yan Wanwan this pill. She initially refused, but Zhao Fan insisted that she was his servant. Taking the pill, she believed that he would not dare to kill her now, and when they reached the capital, she would have 10,000 ways to kill him. After taking the pill, she suddenly felt worse. Zhao Fan only ordered to control her mind, because without his antidote, she would die within a month. She was surprised by his words, but Zhao Fan noticed that her plans were very obvious. He said that by eating this pill, she would follow him for the rest of her life, and if he died, then she would too. At this moment, Yan Wanwan felt a sharp sensation in her heart and Zhao Fan remembered that the slightest disrespect for him would make her suffer from the pain of a parasite devouring her heart. Yan Wanwan was angry and wanted to understand who he was and why she wanted to harm him so badly. Zhao Fan decided to answer her by taking off his mask. What she saw left her speechless. Zhao Fan said that when she arrogantly refused the marriage, she made his grandfather lose face in Yen Donghan, with the support of the capital Zhao family, tried to exterminate their entire family. Yen Wanwan couldn't believe that she had become the slave of the person she despised the most. Zhao Feng believed that she could not escape slavery by going to the capital Zhao family. She understood that the capital Zhao family just wanted to use her body as a furnace and they didn't even treat her as a human. At this moment, someone appeared from the clear sky and looked for Zhao Feng. Yen Wanwan assumed that he had insulted other masters, but Zhao Fan reassured her that she would die with him. He grabbed Yen Wanjuan's waist and flew with her away from it. Having landed, she pushed him away, believing that dying with him was a way to avenge her family. Zhao Feng noticed that there were many people who wanted to kill him, but in the end they all died. Unexpectedly, the system reported that it had detected enough experience to advance to the 8-star martial ancestor level. Zhao Feng immediately agreed to transfer and further exchanged a large amount of treasures from the Yen family for 100,000 supreme coins. People behind him called out to him. Zhao Feng immediately determined that they were the 9-star martial ancestors of the Mo clan. Yen Wanwan also noticed that there was a very powerful aura there. One of the guys told him to go catch Zhao Fan for his debt, and he would catch this woman. Zhao Fan pushed her back and ordered her to run away. Yen Wanwan realized that he was simply protecting her. Zhao Fan used 10 sword pulses and attacked the people who came after him. They were shocked by such strength and that Zhao Fan had become much stronger in a short time. There was a big explosion and the 9-star martial ancestors were shocked. Approaching them, he was going to inspect them for some treasures, since now the young master needs money. The system alerted Zhao Feng of the approaching strong martial lord. Zhao Fan didn't want to be disturbed, but suddenly realized that something was wrong. Looking around, he noticed that a 7-star battle lord had appeared. Mo Chi stated that Zhao Fan destroyed the Mo clan's 100-year plan, destroyed the sacrifice ritual, and killed many of their Mo clan masters. Saying that today would be the day of Zhao Fan's death, he released his huge hand. Realizing that the 7-star battle lord could crush him with just one finger, he had to run faster. After that, he used Lingyun Xianbu and dodged. Despite all these tricks, Mo Chi was going to kill him today. Zhao Fan barely ran away and realized that it was time to buy the item. He turned to the system so that it chose an item to escape. The system considered that at present, only the space breakthrough talisman could save him. Zhao Fan agreed with this. The system reported the redemption of a space breakthrough talisman, which cost 100,000 top coins. She warned that if he did not use the space-breaking talisman, he would die. Zhao Fan decided that he would settle the score with the game later and, joining his hands together, a huge explosion occurred. Mo Chi was surprised that Zhao Fan managed to escape, but he believed that even if he escaped, Zhao Fan's internal organs would be crushed by the force of his palm and he would die. At that moment, Zhao Fan appeared in a certain forest. He was seriously wounded and if he did not receive medical attention, he would die. Until the last moment he was sure that he would not die, but suddenly he lost consciousness. There was a large animal next to him, which picked him up and ran away. At that moment, a carriage was driving, and inside it was Nangong Ling, who didn't know where Xiaobai had gone. She was informed that Xiaobai was a 5th-order spirit beast, so there was no need to worry about his safety. Nangong Ling found their journey boring, also due to the absence of Xiaobai. Suddenly, a wolf appeared and brought Zhao Fan. Nangong Ling was already happy that it was Xiaobai, but she was surprised by who they brought her. The animal asked to save him, but the assistant assured that this person was of unknown origin and it was unknown whether he was a friend or an enemy. Nangong Ling agreed to this and gave the pill to Zhao Fan, believing that they would be accompanied by experienced guards throughout the journey. The assistant was unhappy because Nangong gave the golden opportunity, bone-strengthening pill, which is her saving pill. Nangong Lin said that there is no need to talk about this anymore. According to her, Xiaobai has long had psychic abilities, so he has his own intentions, so when he asks to save this person, she trusts Xiaobai. After a short time, Zhao Fan recovered and woke up with a headache. He didn't understand how he ended up here and the assistant noticed that their mistress saved him. Nangong Ling explained that despite taking the golden opportunity, bone-strengthening pill, Zhao Fang's injuries had not yet healed and he would have to rest more. Zhao Fan knelt down to thank her and suddenly his wound hurt. His mistress caught him and asked him to be careful. Chuzhong Tian entered her room to show her the herbs he had collected for her. Upon entering, he saw Zhao Fan lying on the floor and began to shame her for bringing a man into her chambers in broad daylight. Ling Er denied this, saying that she was obviously saving people, and kicked him out of her room. He was angry, believing that this guy who appeared out of nowhere was to blame. Zhao Fan opened the system menu, realizing that the blow dealt by the martial lord was truly terrifying. Even though he has been healed, his life force is lacking. He hoped that this time Yuan Dan could just help him regain his strength. The Yuan Dan system price was 2,000 top coins. Zhao Fang's balance was 1,999 supreme coins, which could not be cancelled. Zhao Fan was angry that he was only missing one coin. The system launched a mandatory task where within 5 minutes it was necessary to allow Nangong Ling to increase his favor. If the mission is successful, the charm value will increase by 1 point and the game will reward Zhao Fang with one highest coin. At that moment the carriage hit a bad road, a box fell from the table and something fell out of it. Nangong Lin wondered about what happened. The assistant said that the jade pin given to Nangong Lin by her mother was broken. She ran up and was upset because it was the only thing her mother had left. Zhao Fan decided to help her and take a look. He believed that he was a master blacksmith, so he could easily repair this small jade hairpin. The assistant began to blame Zhao Fan for this, because everything was in order before he came, but after he came, he not only caused Madam and young Master Chuzhong Tian to quarrel, but also broke the jade pin. Nangong Lin wasn't sure and asked if she should show it to him. Zhao Fang happily confirmed this. He understood that he needed to get this quickly in order to increase his favor. The assistant did not believe him and believed that he was faking. Nangong Ling noticed that when other men saw her, they all had strange eyes, but Zhao Fan had clear ones. The lady decided to give it to him in the hope that he would fix it. Zhao Fan quickly took it, glad that there was still time. The assistant wanted to dissuade the lady, but she only asked to remain silent. As she believed in him, Zhao Fan immediately turned into a master blacksmith. The girls loved this spectacle and after a while, the broken thing was as good as new. The assistant again didn't believe it and wanted to check it out. Zhao Fan apologized to Ling Er, for he was injured and could not do his best. Nangong Lin assured that everything was fine. Zhao Fan could barely stand up and asked her not to worry if she was not satisfied. She helped him up and said that everything was fine. A connection was formed between them and from now on Nangong Lin asked to call her simply Ling Er. The mandatory task for Zhao Fan was completed. This was dangerous for him because if it had happened a few seconds later it would have been bad. For some reason, Ling Er felt that Mr. Zhao had become so handsome and unusual, like an ideal man for her. Zhao Fan called out to her, asking what was wrong with her. If there was something on his face, Ling Er justified herself and told him to rest first, and she would go to the inner room. For Zhao Fan, Ling Er's charisma skill was impressive. Next, the game offered to exchange Zhao Fan for pills. He felt that this system was getting worse and worse, so he bought a returning element pill. He used the pill and was recovering when suddenly something exploded behind him. Running out, he saw a huge closed bowl and ran to help Ling Er. Ling Er regretted that what she wanted still didn't work. Zhao Fan wanted to help. He had already awakened the alchemist profession, but not the alchemy skill. The assistant did not know what Zhao Fan wanted to do, to which she received an explanation that when he touches an object related to the profession, he can awaken the corresponding skill. Touching the bowl, the game announced the open skill, Alchemy. To learn it, Zhao Fan was glad that it worked. Ling Er wondered if Zhao Fan had studied alchemy, to which she received an answer that she had some knowledge. At this moment, he was called out by Chuzhong Tian, who was surprised that Sister Ling Er did not say anything about her practice. Zhao Fan didn't understand why he was pursuing him, because they had no grudges. Chuzhong Tian declared that Zhao Fan was a nobody who was not worthy of knowing his purpose and ordered Zhao Fan to be thrown out of there. Zhao Fan determined that Chuzhong Tian was a 6-star martial ancestor and now he was no match for him. Ling Er stopped the Chuzhong Tian man. She reminded that Chuzhong Tian is not at home and he does not dare to do whatever he wants there. Zhao Fan realized that even though he was not their opponent now, in any case they would not go against Ling Er. The man bowed to Chuzhong Tian, explaining that there are many strong people in the Nangong family and they are not ready now. Chuzhong Tian was angry and reproached Zhao Fan for hiding behind the woman's back, challenging her to fight. Zhao Fan refused this, believing that only a crazy person would fight him. From what he heard, Chu Zhongtian became even more angry, and the system congratulated Zhao Fan on launching a mission, the goal of which was to win the duel. Chu Zhongtian was more angry and was already restrained. Ling Er wanted to end this and told Chu Zhongtian to leave now. They were already leaving, but Zhao Fan said that he would agree to this adventure. Chu Zhongtian turned around and was surprised that he actually agreed. Chu Zhongtian's man said that the young master was already a martial ancestor, an outstanding alchemist at the top of the universe, and asked what qualities Zhao Fan had to compare with the young master. Chu Zhongtian laughed at this and suggested that Uncle Bao give Zhao Fan a chance today. Ling Er turned to Zhao Fan, assuring him that he did not need to fight him. Zhao Fan decided that since they were so confident in their strength in alchemy, he suggested checking it out. Chu Zhongtian and Uncle Bao laughed at him. Ling Er reminded Zhao Fan that Chu Zhongtian's talent in alchemy was much better than hers. Zhao Fan assured that everything would be fine and stated that the fight would be held in a month, since his injury had not yet healed. Chu Zhongtian agreed to this. As long as Zhao Fan lost, he could kill him. Zhao Fan wondered what would happen if Chu Zhongtian lost. Chu Zhongtian explained that if he loses, then everything in the bag will belong to Zhao Fan, and the bag contains his entire fortune. Zhao Fan agreed, but first wanted to thank him. Chu Zhongtian advised Zhao Fan to prepare to be a ghost. Ling Er wondered how Zhao Fan could promise to compare with Chu Zhongtian. Zhao Fan assured her that she had her own method, but he would borrow her inner room and help her find some alchemical equipment. She agreed and wanted to stay outside. She also gave him all the elixirs that he could use. Zhao Fan understood that everything was ready and must do it now. Approaching the huge bowl, he began to improve his alchemy skills. Ling Er sat and thought that today is the test date of the duel. Zhao's fans stay with him for a month and don't leave, and she didn't know what happened to him. Suddenly, she found herself thinking about him constantly these few months. Then, after a while, Chu Zhongtian called Zhao Fan, because it was time for a duel. The people who walked with Chu Zhongtian praised him. Ling Er didn't understand why she was so excited. Although it was too early, Chu Zhongtian realized that ever since Zhao Fan appeared, Nangong Ling had become more and more indifferent to him. At that moment, something exploded in the carriage and Zhao Fan flew in from above. People noticed that something was wrong because he had a strange smell. Chu Zhongtian began to attack. Zhao Fan summoned a certain spirit of that very bowl. He found it funny that someone like Zhao Fan dared to fight him. Zhao Fan wondered what would happen if he beat Chu Zhongtian, whether the storage bag also included a medical tripod, because it was previously said that everything in it would go to Zhao Fan. Chu Zhongtian became nervous and realized that Zhao Fan was waiting for his approval, but he couldn't let it be. He deceived Zhao Fang by saying that by defeating him, everything in his bag would become Zhao Fang. He said this because he was sure of his loss. Having decided that it was time to start, Chu Zhongtian was the first to get down to business. He wanted to show Zhao Fan who a real alchemist was. People watching from the side admired Master Chu. Ling Er also couldn't deny his talent. After some time, a luminous ball appeared from the bowl. Chu Zhongtian immediately grabbed him and declared his readiness. The ball suddenly turned into a first-class medicine. He called Ling Er over to make sure of this and she confirmed that it was the highest grade. One of the people wondered about the highest skill, because they had not heard about it before. Ling Er said that the elixir can be ordinary, supreme and best. A regular alchemist can only create a normal elixir, but with some abilities will be able to create a higher quality or even better elixir. Hearing this, the people laughed at Zhao Fan's courage to go against Master Chu. Zhao Fan called out to Ling Er, asking him to borrow a medical tripod. At such a request, the people laughed even more than ever. Ling Er thought about this for a long time. Because her medical tripod is her main asset, her family paid a lot of money to get it. Zhao Fan reassured her, saying that now he is also a master alchemist of the Zhou class and will get her some good elixirs, so that she will have enough to buy another medical tripod. Ling Er was ashamed of him and asked him to stop joking, since buying a medical tripod would require at least 10 of the best elixirs. Zhao Fan assured her that he could do it, but Chu Zhongtian didn't believe it either. Because even he just created the supreme elixir by luck. The people mocked Zhao Fan. Zhao Fan wondered what he would do without Dan Ding and, glancing to the side, he decided that he should find it first and return. Instantly returning, no one understood what Zhao Fan wanted. Zhao Fan took out a certain cauldron. People assumed that he would try to make an alchemical cauldron, which was impossible. Ling Er asked Zhao Fan if he didn't want to make a fool of himself, to which Zhao Fan replied that such a cauldron, not the best according to him, but would still be enough. She got tired of this and knocked the cauldron out of Zhao Fan's hands. She stated that she knows that he is no better than Chuzhong Tian, but for some reason he is wasting her Dan Ding. Ling Er didn't blame him, but wondered why he was trying to appear stronger. Zhao Fan desperately asked her if she really thought he was joking. Ling Er could not believe that this was not so, because while holding the pot, he still continues to try to practice alchemy. Zhao Fan heard her, but still decided to continue. Ling Er understood that he had definitely lost, and if he did not give up now, then Chuzhong Tian would most likely kill him. Chuzhong Tian called out to him, saying that he could save his life if he decided to surrender. Zhao Fan came up and took the pot, glad that the bottom did not leak. He replied to Chuzhong Tian that he would only give up in his dreams, which he did not like. Zhao Fan saw that Ling Er was afraid that if he lost, Chuzhong Tian would force him to leave, and also had a desire to kill him. Chuzhong Tian laughed at him because he was wondering what Zhao Fan would do with the broken cauldron. Zhao Fan only ordered to open his eyes and look more closely. After these words, he released fire, which he easily controlled. The people were shocked by his skills. Invoking medicine, various elements were immersed in the cauldron. He continued to masterfully control the fire and couldn't wait for them all to see the result. Zhao Fan really wanted to show what alchemy was and called on Ning Dan. The large magical mixture mixed and became a blue radiance in Zhao Fang's cauldron, who presented it as the 10 best pills that had collected the spirit of the universe, enough to satisfy. Zhao Fan fell to bring the cauldron closer and asked Ling Er if it was her tripod. Chuzhong Tian, due to the fact that he did not feel Ding Dan's hesitation, did not believe him, reminding him of another hour of time to surrender. Zhao Fan explained that it becomes too fast and the vibrations do not keep up with the rhythm. The people could not believe that Zhao Fang would allow the medicine to disappear before Dan appeared. In their opinion, even without training in the best medicine, Zhao Fang would have been enough to become a genius in the city. Ling Er decided to see if it was Dan. She wanted to look and, taking a small ball in her hand, she announced the presence of 3 wavy lines, which characterized the best elixir. The people were shocked by what they heard. As this was impossible, Ling Er wanted to watch the second one. Everything was the same on the second one. Zhao Fang believed that there was no need to look through one by one, suggesting that they be scattered. The steam evaporated and everyone saw the 10 best elixirs. Ling Er immediately began to find out how Zhao Fan did it, but he only answered that his talent was incredible. He was going to explain later how he was weak a couple of days ago, but now he was able to do such a thing. First, he wanted to solve Ling Er's problem and called out to Chuzhong Tian, who was trying to leave. Zhao Fan reminded them of their promise and that Chuzhong Tian must give back everything he has. Chuzhong Tian couldn't believe it and assumed that he was the one who framed him. No one could understand what he was talking about, because he himself asked for the test, but everything depended on them. Zhao Fan asked if Chuzhong Tian wanted to die, but he stated that Zhao Fan could only dream about his bag. In this case, Zhao Fan confidently walked towards him, preparing for reprisals. Chuzhong Tian noticed that he was too arrogant.